Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final day of group stage play for Starladder Season 10. I'm LD, your host of Beyond the Summit, and I'll be joined here today by Blaze. Blaze, as we get underway for the day, I think it's well advised to begin with a quick look here at the standings. We have a good position for LAI Gaming. They're 4-2 right now. If they win this next game, they'll be 5-2. At that point, they're tied with Hyper Glory Team. I'm not sure who holds the head-to-head there. You've also got Vici Gaming City at 4-1, Newbie at 5-1 right now. So, at worst, Newbie on the day 5-2. At best, Vici Gaming end of the day 6-1. LAI Gaming, if they win this one, then they basically, I think at that point they just knock IG out, unless Vici Gaming lose 2 games in a row today, which I'm doubting is going to happen. They look strong right now, to say the least, as they're wrapping up Sina Cup. So, for LAI Gaming, I'm going to say it's win and you're into the playoffs. That's basically the most likely outcome here.
Yeah, I mean, they've been impressing throughout the tournament so far. Obviously, they don't have the big name behind them, and some people look at the name Super and they get disappointed when they hear it's a different one. But honestly, they deserve all the recognition they can get because they've been playing just absolutely amazing. Of course, they have been adopting strategies from other teams here and there, but I mean, if you can't beat them, join them. You get a really cool strategy. You get a lot of momentum behind you, and you can bring it into these next games. So I'm excited to see them perhaps move up in those rankings towards a potential land contention, and that'll be exciting for them, of course, as they move forward. But looking at the draft here for this game today, we're going to be looking at an interesting little Tusk ban against LGD. Very popular to take that out of the hands of MMY and company. And yeah, as well, the Visage was the first pick, so they knew the Drow was going to be the second pick. They pick up Brewmaster and Razor to try to break that up a little bit. The Eye of the Storm works wonders against birds, or the familiars, as well as the Brewmaster. Just having that extra HP pool to work with, some evasion there, it does definitely makes his life easier as far as surviving against them.
Yeah, I'm interested to see yet another Drow Visage. It's been Drow Visage mania in China like the past 4 days or so. It was funny because right after WEC, which was when Cloud9 went to China, or did their whole Drow Visage thing, were very effective. Nobody really picked up on it. We saw a few random Visage picks, like 1 or 2 Drow picks, but all of a sudden, a few weeks later, it's like everyone's finally decided, oh yeah, Drow Visage is legit, and we want to run it. And not just occasionally, but pretty much every game. I have the stream open for the Sina Cup Grand Finals, and it's Drow Visage there again. Not first 2 picks, but Vici Gaming have just picked that up. And the other factor is they get the Lycan, which we saw yesterday was the Lycan Visage Drow. Just disgusting amounts of damage. It was, who played that match? I'm trying to remember. It was, oh man. If I look at the schedule from yesterday, I'll remember. But yeah, that was, it got to the point where like you couldn't deal with the Rat Dota. They were just too strong.
Yeah,
oh, it was Hyper Glory Team lost that game. I'm trying to remember who, was it LAI? It might have been LAI running against them yesterday. But yeah, HGT had no answers for it.
Yeah, and I think that's what the big thing here is every single Chinese team, since they're seeing it so frequently, are looking for the ideal answer for it, looking for a response. They see it coming because of the first pick, and they don't want to just be staring at it like a train on the tracks. It's just like the Brewmaster, the Razor, already brings some nice stuff to it. I actually really like Drunken Brawler against the Familiars because you just get 1 auto crit. That's going to be almost all of its life, if not all of its life, depending on what level it is. So there's a lot of merit to killing off the Familiars there, but I'm almost thinking like they might go like a Rubik Morphling thing. Okay, they're going to Nation Profit for now. We'll see their last pick. But if they gave Sylar, okay, that'd be way too greedy now. But my idea was if they gave Sylar Morphling, then they could replicate the Drow for Precision Aura and then get Rubik to spell Steal Familiars to get it on their own side. You'd have to be within 900 range of the replicant, but it'd still be pretty awesome.
That sounds amazing. And Morphling actually probably will have more agility than Drow if the game goes late enough, right? Or is it based on the Drow stats?
It would be based on the Drow stats, okay.
Yeah. So that's still pretty cool. Well, not the case here. Nonetheless, LAI Gaming, we'll probably see 2 ranged heroes come off the board for them. Anyone that you have in mind? There's no Death Prophet, there's no Viper.
Puck's pretty good here.
Okay.
Just to get a little bit more control, maybe prevent a brew split one fight. When you get the combo, also, a lot of people don't think of it, but you can actually use Gust along with Dream Coil to break it. And then that can be the extra stun on top of the double silence, and it could just make it really difficult for somebody to actually avoid all these effects. Obviously, the brew going BKB would help them out a lot, but that's going to be, generally speaking, you don't want your strategy to be based on having to BKB and then immediately split as soon as the fight begins. But Yeah, we'll see. I mean, a lot of kill potential already. The Puck is probably my favorite here just because he lanes so well with the extra right-click damage. Is probably the only thing that he actually lacks as a hero in the laning phase. But Tide, yeah, they're not going to go for a ranged Drow. They're actually going to get a lot of buffer zone type heroes, the ones that create space for Drow to do her thing. It's kind of like they're drafting Drow as if she's a dwarven sniper. Like they're trying to create space for her. They're trying to make sure that the enemy can't get to her.
Right.
And yeah, the Ravage, the Fisher accomplished that very well.
Yeah, we saw that I think most notably from the clockwork of XTT yesterday when LAI Gaming ran the strat versus HGT was a very similar type of role for him to fill, but now they've picked up 2 buffer heroes, so I'm expecting at least one more ranged hero, though. Yeah, maybe they just decide the Draw Visage is good enough on its own. It used to be good enough on its own for Cloud9, but the Chinese teams have like, it's kind of classic Chinese Dota if you go back like over the past 4 or 5 years. Oftentimes they would see an innovation in the West, and then they would just take it and then make it better and polish it and master it. And I don't know if getting the 5 range heroes is the final form of the Draw Visage strat, but that was the direction they were headed. And well, it seems they're going back to a little bit more of a balanced draft with these 2 picks.
Yeah, the last pick should probably be the Bane. It's something that Godbluck likes to draft up a lot with the tri-lane, specifically the Drow Visage and X. The X would be Bane because he's very durable naturally, and then of course he can do things like set up for something else. But that would change up their roles a little bit, and since we don't see mid Earthshaker very much in the Chinese scene compared to like the North American one, that probably isn't what they're aiming for. So just talking about natural solo mids, the Puck is still well on my mind. They thought the Queen of Pain might be a threat. They take that out, but I don't know. In this case, Jakiro, Nature Prophet, Razor, they've got a lot of push on their side, and they're going to have to make good use of it. Essentially, they want to fight whenever some familiars is off cooldown, where they want to make sure that they kill off familiars, get them crits on them, build them Nature Prophet's right-click damage, just kill those pesky birds, and as soon as that's out of the picture, go for heavy push. And the Jakiro, the Razor, the Furion should be able to accomplish that quite well. But as far as that last pick from LAI Gaming, they've got about 15 seconds or so to decide. The Puck is still that natural, that one that we see most frequently, but I mean, any mid-ranged hero, it's going to be the Tinker.
All right, so it kind of fits in with the familiars. Obviously, you can BOT to those, and they give you a lot of mobility around the map, but yeah, it's not a right clicker really, so I still think there's some good synergy here overall, though. Drow Visage like to spread the map. Tinker likes to spread the map, and in that sense, these heroes are well suited to be on the same squad. And with that, we'll see 3 smokes purchased off the bat, 2 for LGD, only 1 for LAI Gaming, and we'll have a quick pause. But in moments, we can go ahead and introduce the teams. Hopefully, this pause is a short one. We have Yao playing your Brewmaster. He'll be headed to the mid lane, rushing the bottle. Faith, support Jakiro for Team LGD. They're 2 and 4. And looking to, I don't know, just get on a bit of a roll heading into future leagues. They're out of the running for the playoffs here at Starladder, though. MMY, your Rubik, Sylar, your Razor, and that does leave in July as the offlane Nature's Prophet. And on the Radiant squad, a team that many would not have given much of a chance to be ahead of LGD, but here they are, 4 and 2 with a win, guaranteed playoffs berth. XDD on your Drow Ranger, that puts Super onto the Visage. XC will be handling the Tinker, XTT, the Tide Hunter, and last but not least, 5400. Let's support our Shaker. They're gonna, looks like, protect the Ancients off the bat, and it makes a lot of sense for this team. They've got a Tide and a Tinker. Even the Drow can farm the Ancients reasonably well, so a lineup full of heroes that need the Ancient Gold, and they do not want to see LGD warding these off.
Yep, trying to get control over that. I mean, obviously the Tinker shifted over to be kind of the linchpin of the strategy here. They, normally speaking, you look at Drow and you consider her a tempo carry. You're like, okay, well, they want to take towers fast. They want to end this game in 22, 25 minutes, and they don't want to really give LGD any quarter. But by drafting up these mid to late game heroes in the Tide and in the Tinker, they're really shifting their focus. They're making sure that they're going to be able to get the most out of the map in general, set up Tinker for a lot of farm, and then just sporadically use this Precision Aura for a lot of pushing. Just to say, okay, this tower's going to die, just a little bit of extra income off the map, but it's a tool. It's not the core of the strategy here, although it is definitely potent. But yeah, we'll see. No aggression really coming from LGD to start things off. They're going to play passively with the Nature's Prophet on the offlane.
But the best part is MMI is going to ward these off anyway. He's going to get the sentry down regardless, despite all their efforts.
Yeah, and that's the big problem here is Tinker went boots first. Like, I think he was really going to be relying on that. He even misses the first laser. Like, he lasers a creep, which is pure damage, and he misses it, and he's boots first against the Panda. This could be actually a really slow start for the Tinker.
Yeah, and good news, he at least has tangos here, so if they try to profit gank him, he can tango out of the Sprout, but yeah, it's not off to a good start here for XC. And now he's getting denied too by Yao. Yeah, double denied. This is painful to watch, Blaze. And does the Sentry... I think
no, it shouldn't.
Okay, so he misplaced it then.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
He dropped it like in the chasm behind the camp.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there are a few spots that'll work there.
What the hell is...
I'm not fully familiar which spots it is, but I've seen that just to try to add a little extra layer of deception, but I don't know exactly the layer, and obviously it seems that MMY doesn't either. But
I didn't even know you could put a ward there. Like, there's a lot of places, like this whole area, where you can't really put wards around it. Like, there's, this cliff, which you can't put a ward on, but apparently you can put a ward in that ravine. That is complete news to me, and I think for MMY as well. He was actually painting the camp right after he placed the ward, so I think he might have realized, oh shit, I misplaced it, guys. But yeah.
Yeah.
Free stacks for Tinker. Well, things not so bad for LAI Gaming after all.
Yeah, that actually does really help out their early momentum. I mean, obviously the Tide is also capable of clearing it, but this is all for Tinker here. They have no interest in feeding the Tide that much. Maybe a little bit later, but for now, XZ, he's the one that needs the BOTs.
He's got 4 CS after 4 waves, man, and he just missed another last hit. He missed 2. I've had these games with Tinker where I'm like, oh man, I'm just not last hit. All right, I'm gonna use March to last hit. It gives me extra damage, but it sometimes makes it where like, if the March just doesn't hit at the right time, your auto attacks, like you're expecting the March to keep on doing damage, but it hits one of the creeps in front, not the one that you're hoping for, then it can actually hurt your last hit. I would almost say XC's on like slight tilt here. Just there's really no reason to be marching the wave at this stage of the game, unless you can't get in safely for CS, but he's completely safe here with Earthshaker protecting him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to harass the Brewmaster out, that's for sure. I think, honestly, Yao's going to be bottling for mana more than anything else. So, in this position, XZ, yeah, the one thing is Tinker's attack animation is just absolutely horrible. Like, people complain about Crystal Maidens and Drows and Lenas. Sure, there's a wind-up, but you can kind of predict it. You can figure out the projectile, exactly how it's going to hit. For some reason, at least me personally, I cannot stand this animation for the Tinker, and the right clicks, that's why he's not really a right click hero at all, is he just doesn't scale that well with attack speed, and the animation just feels so raw. So obviously he just does so much more with items, and he just needs to get there. But for now, he's just farming slowly. Does get the creep wave finally to a good position where he's able to just kind of cleanly farm it under his tower, but yeah, just a little bit of a slow start. Luckily, as you said, the Ancients, they've been made available, and one more stack will come through. That's going to be kind of critical mass. They can technically stack it, but that's going to be pretty much the only, as much as they need to stack for him as he builds up his march.
Yeah, the other thing they could do now if they wanted to is to stack these big camps, but it looks like they're a little bit worried about a gank on the Tidehunter. They're bringing the Earthshaker towards the top lane. And the other thing is, this is a Tinker who also has Precision Aura. Yeah, it's only level 2 right now, but there's still some extra damage for this Tinker, so last hitting shouldn't be too difficult, but it's just the lack of the bottle that's hurt him. Not able to laser Yao, so those guaranteed auto attacks are on the table, and he's just been doing a great job of denying so far. 17-5 to the 8-1 of Tinker. And generally this, from when I've seen it, is an even matchup for most pro players. I'd say go about 50-50, and sometimes even Tinker has the edge if he's really good with his laser timings.
Sure. I wonder if that's why he went for the Boots first build instead of the Null Tally start. Is like, okay, I've got this extra bonus damage from the Drow. I don't really need this Null Talisman to start off. I can just go for the Boots outright and save myself some gold. Oh.
I actually was watching top, and then I wanted to see if he would get this 5th stack on the Ancients, so I missed the first blood. Fortunately, hardly anyone's watching right now because Side Cup Grand Finals are going on, so don't tell anyone, guys. That totally didn't happen. No, I bet. That won't happen again. But yeah, Fisher top lane. They'll use this to slow down the push. And he did fail on the 5th stack. Do you know what are the requirements to get the 5th stack?
It's all about the positioning. I don't, as far as
you don't know like
you
the
get more
exact
dragons.
formula for it. More dragons is better.
I think more dragons is actually better, but the problem is that they're all going to be out of sync if you have this kind of spread of creeps here. So I don't know. It's a mystical thing that I rarely manage, and I just kind of leave it up to randomness. I know that I'm sure there's like a theory to it, but I haven't discovered it.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, LGD will take a tier 1, so they take down that tower top. And this makes roaming towards the Ancients a whole lot easier. Now they have a secondary path they can use to get in there. if they wrap around this direction, and it makes it more dangerous for XC now to farm those up. And you throw that path on top of this one, as well as the standard path up the ramp. There's really 3 ways in towards the Ancients, and it's going to make life harder for XC. He's now working towards the Soul Ring, has his bottle up, and if he clears this quad stack, they stack up these camps a little bit, which they are doing. They're making a big investment in the Tinker. Well, they've already stacked the big camp. Still, this is important for LAI Gaming. If they somehow lose this Ancient stack, it's like almost automatically GG at that point, I think. Especially if the Tinker dies in the process.
I don't think they can actually like take it for themselves though. They can contest it a lot. They can teleport in this Nature Prophet with his double nil tallies and send a lot of right clicks his way. But as far as actually sniping it, Tinker would have to like wear these guys down to like 10% HP before they're actually able to be killed off by LGD's side anyways.
Yeah, and for the meantime, he'll go for that 5th stack. He might actually get it. Oh, he was close. He was damn close.
It's so weird. They changed the leash on it, so it's like just out of sync. Actually, they're going to go for a dive in mid here. They really do want him, but they're going to look for the support.
Sprout was on 5400. The Brew is chasing XZ back, but can't get in range for anything. And Yao is not getting those evasion procs as he tanks quite a few tower shots. Has a regen rune, so we'll clap. We'll get rocketed. Oh, and that's going to cancel his regen. Jeez. Well timed by XZ. And the last hit he might not be the best, but his game sense was definitely there to expect the regen rune pop and instantly rocket to cancel it. That's hard times for Yao. So LAI Gaming will go for the trade here. Not really a direct trade, but an eventual trade as they'll begin pressuring this bottom tower with the marksmanship aura, or marksmanship now online, and the precision aura, I should say. They can begin to push this tower in quickly. And XC does not have his soul ring, so Ancients can get farmed up. The tier 1 bottom will go down. It's just a question of if LGD deny it or get a trade, and this will bring the gold a bit more into balance. As XDD is working towards a Midas, nearly has one picked up. He's quietly at free farm this game, with the Prophet TPing top, InJuly unable to really pressure a Drow in lane, just the nature of this matchup, the dual lane Drow versus an off-lane Prophet. He's going to have a fast Midas, so the comeback mechanics are certainly in place for LAI Gaming. Even with the slow start, they have the heroes that can turn this around, and they'll get the last hit on the tower. It goes the way of XDD. That's basically your Midas gold, but super not so lucky. InJuly's going to TP in. Sprouts him. Toss back comes from MMY, and now they'll begin the static link. Nice body blocking from MMY, preventing super from retreating out. Would have gone down anyway, but just
he
makes
didn't
it
even grave chill there. He just resigned himself to his fate. He's like, oh, this is a terrible situation. But they get the tower, and as you mentioned, that's just so much more valuable for this team as a whole.
And it's going to be time for XC to start farming the Ancients. He'll try to time the march here. Oh, no, actually, no, he's going to try another stack. He's not using his rearm to farm a bit quicker. XDD caught up by Yao. He'll use the Gust to push him back, but now heads the way that Yao once was, as Yao gets fissure blocked away from this. Can't go in further. It's going to be a completely wasted Primal Split. They'll now pause as the Prophet disconnects, but the split, all it does is keep Drow out of the jungle for a few moments. Yeah, which she probably wants to be anyway.
Yeah, I suppose so. I feel like you'd really need to make sure that first Primal Split counts so much more against this kind of a team lineup where the Drow is already at level 7. She's going to be building up a Hand of Midas on top of her treads. Like, I do like that she went for the treads for the extra agi boost to her team, as well as some durability when she needs it. But she goes back for the Midas after that tower kill, and she's going to be able to build up very quickly. Like, she's already got it at 8 minutes. Her farm is really insane, and as this team progresses, you're going to feel a lot of physical damage threats from the Drow and the Visage familiars, and you're still going to be having to deal with the magical damage coming out from the Dagon Tinker. So right now, the tempo is against you, and you have to make your ultis count. And in this case, the Primal Split coming out and completely whiffing, essentially. You might as well be casting it on the ground there. And yeah, they create space for this tier 1 bottom, but it's not worth the CD there.
All right, not completely, man. He got to farm one small centaur. Let's be clear here, Blaze. That's some extra gold he might not have gotten otherwise.
Centaur hype.
Yeah, that's Centaur hype. XC, meanwhile, he has started to clear the Ancients out. He's cleared out most of the small ones, and he'll begin to work on the bigger ones. The dragons are always annoying to finish off his Tinker, though, just because it's like always like 2 extra marches, it feels like, to kill them, or a bunch of auto attacks of 1 more march, and he's getting close to cleaning them up, and with that, BOT is not yet done, but nearby. As soon as he kills this big dragon, I think I'll have him. Yeah, just has the BOTs. So 9-minute BOTs after an awful laning stage. Like, absolutely awful last hitting from Tinker mid.
How different would this game be if MY hadn't whiffed the sentry? If he had actually hit that sentry ward? How insane would this Tinker be underfarmed? Like, that is 1,500 gold at least. right there in the stacks alone.
Yeah,
I
and
think this game would be completely different if he had blocked that camp.
not to mention, yeah, I guess the Shaker in theory could have dewarded it, but that's still at least 1 or 2 missed stacks before you realize it's blocked. So yeah, that's a huge win for LAI Gaming that MMY screwed that up. The question is if LGD can continue to snowball now. They've gone for the double no talismans on in July. They've taken out all 3 outer towers. They now have to look at the tier 2s. But Drow has got her Midas up. Tinker has his BOTs. And LGD don't really have the best lineup to gank a Tinker. Once he gets Blink Dagger, it will be hard for them to track him down through the trees. He's still got a ways to farm here, though. Only sitting on 400 gold. So yeah, what's the next step for LGD? They've got mech, they've got Blink.
Group and push, really.
Just
They got Yao's Primal Split coming up in 20 seconds here. They've got the Blink Dagger and Regen Rune on him. So they want to fight and just try to dodge the Ravage. That's the only thing. The Ravage can shut them down here, and they certainly know it. With the smoke flank, this could actually be pretty bad. But fortunately, the Tide doesn't have much mobility right now. Arcane Boots only. He's not going to be able to close distance and just completely hit everyone. And they might be able to blink slow and keep their spread. In either case, they're going to try to TP down onto Super here, trying to pick him off, and there's the Blink Clap.
Well, Super's done for now. Well, maybe anyway. Grave Chill chasing him out. They can't get range for an Ice Path that looks like was close to killing him, but just a bit short. Prophet had already TP'd in the wrong position, and July is in fact rushing a Blade Mail this game. A lot of damage to turn around on a Tinker and Drow, both of which are generally glass cannons, so...
Yeah, but it's horrible against familiars. Like, it doesn't do anything against them. I always laugh when I see my familiars just absolutely demolishing somebody and they panic Blade Mail, and it's just completely worthless. So, I don't know. It just puts a target on his back that the familiars will be needing to focus him more than anything else.
As the March will force LGD back, they popped their mech. They did a third of damage to the... third of the tower's HP in damage, but they don't manage to bring it down. And... well, the Drow Ranger farming out mid as much as she can. Now XDD's got to rotate back. He knows these other heroes might be inbound. And the one thing that does concern me a bit for LAI Gaming is they don't have the best vision right now, Blaze. They've got one lane ward mid. Otherwise, they are quite in the dark as to what's happening on this map. And that makes it hard for Drow. And we've been talking about Tinker and Drow, but Visage needs to farm too. And he's not getting much space for it either.
Yeah, he does have his level 6 now, and he will be able to kind of spread it a little bit, but they don't give much vision themselves. A lot of people overrate the vision of familiars. They're blind. They really are blind as bats. They just move about. They don't really see much going on. They go into the pit here, and they will be able to scout it out, but I don't think they can really do much here.
You never know. There's always the chance for the Aegis Deny, but they're just going to go for a double stomp and just try to slow this one down a bit. Is there a resummon? No resummon. They might actually kill 1 or 2 of these off.
Yeah. They have 2 clear vision mechanics. They have the Plasma Field as well as the Sprout. And they can kind of use those to get a couple extra right clicks in from the 3 ranged heroes. Well, I mean, Jakira's ranged, but he's only like 400, so hardly counts in my book. But we'll see movement here. They see another ward. They have to hold restraint so they don't deward this. It would break the smoke, of course. And they want to go for Tinker here. But XZ already falling back, and it looks like they will be unsuccessful in their endeavors. That haste, though. How deep do they want to dive?
Oh, he wants to go all the way in. And it looks like LGD say, we want a little insurance here. We're going to get a mech, or a Midas on Sylar as they go in top lane. Onto XDD, defensive fissures there. Bruce Split not even needed. Silence? Maybe. Nah, 1 or 2 more auto attacks will do it. Yeah, 1 more crit. Down she goes. The Drow Ranger will fall, and this is going to be some Midas time wasted. The efficiency will go down as she'll be dead when the Midas is off cooldown, but still... the question is going to remain, do LGD get objectives? These kills on Drow are decent, but they're not killing Tinker, who continues to work towards a Blink Dagger. I still would probably rather be in LGD's position right now, but there's always that potential for throw. This is not, like, well out of reach by any means. So Zinjali TP's in, and if they get a Tinker kill, that'll really turn things. They pop their mech, they'll kill him off. Sylar still has his Aegis anyway, and that's the kill they simply can't afford to be giving up.
Yeah, one of the familiars actually just died off to the tower alone. Like, the micro there wasn't really from the Visage. They tried to right-click it down, get a little bit of harassment on the tier 1, and they lose up one of their birds. They'll probably just have to resummon for the front lines here.
They have Ravage. They're going to throw it out on the Brewmaster. He won't get off the split. Then they pop the Aegis of the Razor as Tinker TP's in again. Has no Blink Dagger to get over this fissure, though, and Sylar will retreat out. So a nice kill there on the Brew. Popping the Aegis, pretty decent as well. There was a solid 4 minutes left on the Aegis. That's very early for LGD to lose it. But they do take a tier 2 tower, and the map is feeling a little bit claustrophobic right now for LAI Gaming.
Yeah. Whereas you said you like prefer LGD's position where they get to be on the offensive, they get to make things happen, and they get to be active. I mean, that's very nice, but honestly, I think I'd feel more comfortable in Live Gaming's position. Although they are kind of dark, although they are on the defensive, they just have so much more late game potency. If they get this mechanism out, they get a couple more transmutes on Drow's Midas, and Tinker gets to do his thing. Like they don't get an auto win, but they definitely feel more confident as minutes pass by. And generally speaking, I prefer a draft that you'll be able to at least contest the late game very substantially. The tempos against LGD, they're the ones under the gun to make things happen now, and with the ability to make things happen, I guess is the expectancy to do so as well.
They're already trying to track down this pesky Drow Ranger. Sylar's going to rotate it to the top lane, and she'll just TP out when he arrives. Might even do it beforehand. Up nearly as Blink Dagger gold, and that will allow the split push to ramp up. Tinker's death there really set XC back, though. Like, as nice of a comeback as it was for him, he set his BOTs, Bottle, and Soul Ring for 6 minutes, and he's still 1,100 gold off his Blink. That is pretty damn slow for a Tinker.
Definitely.
Can't farm his woods, can't get to the Ancients too often, and just isn't getting the last hits in the lane consistently. He's clearly missing a lot of CS, judging by his overall net worth at this point. Still only 85 at 15 minutes.
Smoke.
And they go on the Tidehunter mid lane. They'll find XTT way out on an island, but it's a worthwhile trade as Super finishes off the tier 1 mid. So now LAI Gaming rotating towards the top lane. And so TP towards the pit, just trying to kill off a familiar. Nah, we'll let him go.
Yep. So just going to go ahead and farm off some Ancients for himself. He needs to get a little bit more HP here. The big deal for Angelai's build is going to be... Oh, actually, Blink.
They're jumping on Sylar top lane. It's only a level 2 Frost Arrows, though. I'm not sure if this will be good enough. They just get the Fissure, but pathing was a little bit awkward there, and they'll just decide to back off.
Yeah, they just string themselves out. If you see the eastern flank coming in, they are ready to punish that. If they took even one more step out of bounds, it looks like they
might already be too late. 5,400. Yeah. No, they'll let them go. Would have been a little risky for Faith to charge in that far.
Yeah. So one thing that Angelai needs to look towards is building up just raw HP in general. He goes for the strength treads, and it's going to be really important for him to get more HP than the Tinker so that he can just blade mail and stand in the March machines. If they can kill off the Tinker once more in that capacity, then they can try to prevent the turtle, and that will allow them to open up the base.
LGD, yeah, just looking for that one opening to jump in, and we see LAI Gaming just hugging the base right now. XDD right near the top lane. Super up here on the high ground. Familiars just doing what they can on the side lanes, but there's only one right now. Aghanim's still a long way off for Super, and this courier might get sniped. Prophet's already scouted it out. The Sprout to give some high flying vision, but it'll grab the energy booster and just scurry towards the north. We'll escape for now, but oh no, maybe not. He's coming right back. Just barely. Oh, that they're waiting for him. Yow's here. This courier's on quite a secret, quite a mission. Cue the Mission Impossible music. I think we'll make it back. Snowell is up against it though. But they're using the familiars to get Tinker out on the map. And this is the power of their lineup that I mentioned briefly during the draft. They now finally have to blink on XC. And with the familiars to give him some mobility, he can begin to cause real problems for LGD.
Definitely. There was actually a game that I cast that was actually involving First Departure in Tinker Visage play, and one really cool thing they did was go to the top of the map, even this early on in the game when they don't have a tier 1, and just go to this general area. They were on the Radiant side, and they were able to clear out wave after wave just after they spawned with the March machines, far behind enemy lines, but the TP rotation was so slow that they could get away with it time and time again. And they would just essentially cut the creep wave repeatedly. We do see the blink.
XDD. There's a Baru split on top of you, my friend. He pushes 2 back down into impassable terrain, but they get bumped right back up by the game. He bought his Blade of Alacrity. Will still end up going down, while the familiar that was moving that Tinker around will now be resummoned. Super's gonna get 2-1s back, and will now buy his point booster. So over halfway to the Ags. In spite of the Drow's deaths, they're more than anything just creating space for the Tinker and the Visage to get out on the map. And XC now up to 800 gold. You can begin to work towards that first Dagon.
Yeah. What do you think about this Yule's pickup on the support Jakira here? Faith picks it up, and I guess the item I would parallel it with would be the Force Staff, which we usually see more frequently in this position. But obviously Yule's is a little bit better now that it does negate Blink Dagger. What do you think?
I like Yules. I like Yules in general this game, just to prevent the blink. You know they're gonna be ratting around the map, and split pushing a lot. So any way you can cancel those is pretty big. And on top of that, it is good setup for your own spells, the Ice Path, the Dual Breath. So I think it's a nice choice for Faith.
Cool. Yeah, just thought that was pretty interesting. If they're going to be trying to disengage from Ravage, it may be good for him, but it might not be good for a teammate or something like that. Also, the Fissure might be a thing where you regret not having a Force Staff against as well. But right now, they're just trying to break high ground, and if they can find a pickoff, that's going to open it up for them. So they're going to take down the mid tier 2, make their way down bottom, cut through the wave real quickly. And one thing I want to mention is that MMY, we haven't really felt the presence of the Rubik. Like, has he stolen a single spell?
When you don't see heroes for 15 minutes, it's kind of hard to steal spells, I guess, to be fair. Yeah. MMY has not been near enemy heroes very often this game, but when they come to pushing the high ground, that's where they'll have some teamfight potential, as XTT has no Blink Dagger. Oh, this could be bad. Sprouted up. Does he have a TP out available? No, Rubik's here to cancel it, and he's not getting out of this, at least not easily. Clap, mech, everything just to try and slow the chase, but they'll get an Anchor Special. Might be your first spell stolen in 20 minutes for MMY.
Just about. Anchor Special's not really the ideal one either, but whatever. It's still going to be the pickoff of the tide, the teleport rotation. I honestly think that they could have just kind of pushed through a little bit, like maybe sent back one hero and then had the Nature's Prophet ready to respond. But if they had threatened high ground, I think that LAI were the ones that would have to be on the defensive, because they really want to keep their base and their tier 3 alive as healthy as possible to turtle up with the march. So I kind of feel like after they took that tier 2 on bottom, instead of TPing 5 back, just TPing 1 back that had some counter push, drop a Macro Pyre maybe to clear out the creep wave, then they could have gone with a 4-man movement on the bottom lane, and that would have forced LAI Gaming's hand. But no matter the case, we're going to see them just trade for tier 2 for tier 2, and then, of course, LAI gets to spread out into their jungle and start farming.
And it's an immediate smoke from LGD. They are just chasing LAI Gaming around the map, but if the spidey senses are tingling for LAI Gaming, they should be blinking XDD out right about now. 3 seconds and counting. If he goes out immediately, no, it's already too late. Blink clap, the Yules to set this one up, and they'll even Primal Split just to secure the kill on XDD. While meanwhile, 5400 will TP out successfully. Bit of overcommitment there, to be honest, with the Bruce Split, and this will free up the mid lane as Familiars are in position. Maybe could have gone for Snipe, but Salah already picks up his Axe. They have a way now to kill off these Familiars if they're fighting, but this will not help them to stop the Familiars from giving the Tinker mobility, as he can just send them into the tree line well beyond the Razor's ability to get at them.
Yeah, essentially with that Aghanim's pickup, I feel Super just needs to rat play the Tinkers from this point forward. Or not, sorry, the Familiars and the Tinker along with it. Like, the Aghanims will be nice for more siege, but it's not going to be allowing him to really put them into the thick of things. They're still going to go down within like 3 or 4 seconds easily to Silas. It's going to be more gold for him, and it's going to be difficult. So, yeah, I think avoiding combat in general is going to be a good idea for Super, and they're going to go for Roche, so that's going to make it more difficult for them to bring down all of LGD's members. Curious who they give the Aegis to here, actually, because, like, there's merit to a couple of heroes, but Sylar's items are really full, and unless he's dropping a TP now, it looks like they might want to shift to someone else.
Bassi. I would probably sell Bassi here.
Sure.
Yeah, well, they actually don't have another one, so it's a little bit of lost armor for the push, but the main way that LAI Gaming will deep push anyway is not auto attacks. It's the nuke damage of the Tinker. So yeah, I think that's the right move. But it is always one of those questions, Blaze. What do you do with your Aegis? What do LGD get accomplished? They have a lot of heavy lifting to do here. As LAI Gaming currently trailing by 7,500 gold, 6k experience. We have seen Tinkers come back from, triple this at a similar time. Obviously, those involve throws from the enemy team, but all it takes is one slight misplay, and you give Tinker a double, triple kill. Maybe the Drow is the one who catches them and suddenly has a BKB out, something which LGD don't have great answers for, just the Razor. Yeah, this could turn. I would not be too comfortable from LGD right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, the clock is ticking for them. I really feel that once the Blink Dagger comes out in 5,400 and he's about 1,100 gold off of that, then he's going to have some real, not counter push potential, but defensive high ground play potential where he can just go in and go for the big echo. Right now, they're already dealing with fighting into double march plus ravage. Unless they go for a pick and push, they're not going to be able to just feel confident just going up to the tier 3 and wailing on it manually. So,
are you surprised we're not seeing more pipes against Tinkers? Like,
yeah.
To me, it just seems like such an obvious item to. You don't want the game. Well, okay, if you have certain heroes, like, yeah, you could be up against Tinker, but still go late. Like, I'd say if you have Storm, Batrider, maybe a silencer with an Ags. Like, I think there are certain heroes that can still clockwork perhaps if you've got the right supporting cast to do damage late game. But like in general, most of the drafts we see against Tinkers are not really designed to go ultra late game. They're more designed to win fairly early. But nobody's really building, to me, what the best item to push against Tinker at this stage, which is a pipe. And I mean,
mid.
Oh, mid lane. Jump in onto Yao, and he gets caught out, but he's not dead yet. Evasion not there. That's the gem down as XDD and XZ combine for that one. Double blink in. They'll get the kill. Familiars, though, getting sniped on the way out. 1-2. And then now resummoned by Super, so he's got his triple familiars up. Tinker will make his escape. Meanwhile...
But yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, I completely agree with you. That's that general sentiment. Maybe not as much this game in general, but like in a lot of different games. Drow looks to be picked off. Nice heals to set up the stuns.
That was greedy.
Down.
He wanted to use the Midas on this camp right here, but
they're waiting for him.
Meanwhile, 5400 caught out by Injuly. Sprout will surround the man, then they're managing to steal an enchant totem. Not the best spell for MMY.
But yeah, like in general, and there's a lot of teams that should be building up Pipe of Insight to try to break the high ground and aren't doing that. It doesn't make that much sense to me unless you're going for a blade mail kill 'em off play, but that usually requires 2 blade mails. So yeah, it's a general sentiment that Pipe of Insight isn't that great of an item, but I honestly feel like it's very well warranted against almost any Tinker in a defensive position. So the one thing that surprised me this game more so than that, because honestly they don't have that great of pipe carriers, I think Jakiro could work his way there, but is the fact that Rubik has under-prioritized Nullfield. He only just now put a point in it here at when he jumped up to level 10 and 11. I feel like Telekinesis is only like a 1 or 2 point spell here, where you could get the passive and you can mitigate that universal damage.
Yeah, Telekinesis scales reasonably well, but it's kind of like the Dragonite stun to me, where end of the day, you generally aren't going to be hitting multiple heroes with the drop-down stun, and so it's basically a single target stun in most cases, and, well, Sylar tried to siege this one out, but yeah, you'd rather just have that. You'd rather just have the actual magic resistance. Imagine a pipe and some early points of
exactly.
Like at that point, they could just tank the March of the Machines all day.
Just shrug it off. It really would be. I mean, obviously, then you'd have to worry about the physical damage from Visage more specifically, but I don't know. I really feel like Nullfield plus Pipe is like one of the most underrated things as far as just general combos. The post-mitigation aspect of the barrier makes it so good for allowing them to tank up.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is first you mitigate the damage and then it's blocked, so that pipe block goes a longer way. Yeah, which is like you said, it's right very efficient.
It's like when you increase it, if you actually just look at the item Pipe of Insight, like what it does initially, it says it blocks 400 spell damage, but in reality, if you think about the mitigation aspects, it's usually blocking closer to 500, but then you get the extra magic resistance from Nullfield, or if you're actually holding the hood, then you get that up to around 50%, and it actually increases it to about 600 spell damage, which is going to be plenty for just a couple of marches laid down.
It's blocking, yeah. So, very powerful. Yule Scepter on the Drow Ranger. XDD trapped out top lane and should be going down again here. The Familiar's trying to slow this. He'll silence. Does he go for a TP to force out something? No, not going to be enough. He'll end up going down.
Huge pick. Like, this is a great timing for LGD right now. They've got the Heart of Tarask on Sylar, so he can just kind of go in every once in a while, do some damage to the tower, back off, heal up, do it again. And this is going to be, if they can start grouping, a good window of opportunity. But for right now, they kind of seem still hanging out on the top lane. There's a TP, but I don't know. They feel like they're being sluggish to react to this, and it looks like they're just going to be doing the same old thing.
Honestly, the other issue is that this top lane was like back here when the kill happened, and mid lane was getting pushed out against them. They've now brought in Sylar to push in the mid lane, and it looks like they make their 5-man movement top, but at that point, you're chipping away at 2 separate towers. The top tower is healthier than the mid one, so LGD will smoke, hoping to catch anyone outside of the base. If they can get that one more pick, then it's an easy high ground attempt. Or at least forced out buybacks, which only Earthshaker has right now.
Yeah, but Earthshaker wants to stay for that Blake. Oh, in July, look at this play.
It's a backstab from the Nature's Property. BKBs. Now there's no real good Ravage opportunity. XTT is going to throw it anyway, but Sylar takes through that. Oh, camera completely going haywire as well. And he managed to steal the Ravage, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, stole the Ravage. Yeah, this is going to be a very hard defense from here. MMY. Somehow I ended up clicking on the mini-map all the way at the top. They'll try to turn this from 5400. Echo Slam on 3, but hardly doing any damage. They're too tanky. The magic damage on Yao, it's enough though. Oh no, the evasion! The evasion keeps him alive. Now they'll lose XZ. XDD gonna drop as well. It's a triple kill in the end for Injuli's backstabbing Nature's Prophet. What a sensational play from him. That was completely unexpected by LAI Gaming, and it broke the entire base open. And they have no Tinker for 50 seconds, no Drow Ranger for 40, no Ravage, and no Tide for another 35. This is 2 lanes of Rax, I think, Blaze.
Yeah.
Eye of the Storm's coming off cooldown momentarily.
Repeat your actions to make your enemy expect one thing, and then just do the unexpected. Jump in there, chest out Dota from in July, just says, okay, I'm inside your base now. Backdoor protection's down, I've got a BKB. I can deal with everything you're throwing my way. And I'm gonna tear through you. So they obviously didn't get the time to lay down the march as much as they wanted to. The Ravage wasn't in the best position, was stolen even. Like, they really were not prepared for that. And honestly, I wasn't either. I was watching him teleport in, I'm like, oh my gosh, that actually really is sick. And yeah, breaks open the game base, maybe wins them the game. They take down a 3rd Rax here from Sylar.
Yeah, he may end up paying for this on the way out, but there's a mech to keep him alive a bit longer. And even if he goes down, this is well worth the death. And it looks like he'll have to sack his life, but completely acceptable losses there. 2 lanes of Rax now. 1.5, but the 2 melee, so you could really say, like, basically 2 lanes down. And now it gets a lot harder for LAI Gaming to push out. They have Anchor Smash, they have March the Machines. That's really it. Drow Ranger is not that good at fighting Mega Creeps. Unless she gets some AoE, like a Mjolnir or something, but nowhere near one for now.
Yeah, I don't expect her to pick that one up anytime soon, even if she needs to fight the Mega Creeps. Right now they're relying fully on the March Machines. They're just going to try to break those down that way, and it's just really difficult from here. Like, the LGD are in such a confident position. LAI Gaming, they're devastated. They do have some ultimates coming back off cooldown, and they can technically hold it, but whether they will is a completely different story.
As XDD gets picked off at the top lane now, XZ potentially trouble. Injulai may kill off both of these heroes. The ultimate coming through. Oh, I don't think it bounced to him, or if it did, it was a bit too early. Now the Familiars will turn against the Prophet. Blink Dagger cooling down, he'll sprout up the Visage, but the Familiars fly high to finish this one off. He almost killed the Tinker and the Drow by himself. That would have been an incredible play, but still, he'll set up some more kills for his team as they look to lose their Visage here. Blink and Clap from Yao. Now the double damage and crit comes through, and Super will bite the dust. XTT is Ravage. Is he going to use it outside the base? Injulai TP'ing it. Doesn't have a BKB. He even bought back for this one to rejoin the fight a bit quicker. No Ravage pop yet, though. Doesn't want to waste against the Bruce Split, and XTT will go down. Injulai dodges a potential dieback. They didn't have much follow-up damage, though, and now Tigger forced to blink away.
Yeah.
The end times are upon LAI Gaming, it seems. As Sylar will rotate bottom.
Like, they're trying to put a gold in a Dagon, but that just means that the XZ dies once and the game is over because he has no buyback.
Meanwhile, Echo Slam, just to try and hold Injulai back, he takes some nuke damage to the face and gets the kill in the Nature's Prophet, but it's all just space created here for Sylar, who will quickly clear off the creep wave, continue using Eye of Storm to bring down the tier 3 tower, and Eye of the Storm, still half duration left. Does he stick around for this? He's thinking about it, but it's a little risky with a lot of his teammates off the map, and with Nature's Prophet having died, bought back, and died again, they don't want to risk it, so they'll wait for one more push.
So, right now, I mean, just taking 4 racks into tier 3, they're perfectly happy to just make sure they don't throw the game away. So, set back, get buyback, get maybe another Rosh cycle if they need to. They're in an extremely confident position here. As far as Roshan, it's about to spawn in about 5 seconds. It was a relatively long one. I think 2 minutes out of the potential 3, but Cheese Rosh it is, and Cheese Rosh they will claim.
Yeah, and with this, they'll have Aegis Cheese. They won't have the Prophet buyback, but we're at the point now where if Sylar wanted... Oh, he already has BOT's buyback, but he's not going to save for it. Yeah, he's going to build his Aghanim's Refresher now. He's already got the Ags and the Refresher inbound. Does he have all the components? No, still needs the Perseverance. But he could sell the Phase Boots here, the Midas, and probably have it at that point. As Familiars come in, they're going to look to contest this Roshan. Blink in, Ravage from XTT. This is the final stand. If they can't hold now, then they're not holding at all. Yao taking a lot of damage in the pit, and he doesn't get off his... Split actually didn't have it ready for 2 seconds time. Sylar also going down. Oh it's a huge Roshan heist by LAI Gaming. Wow. They get the triple kill into XTD. Now they're chasing for more, but the creeps are pouring into their base while this happens. And XTD will commit for the Aegis of the Cheese here. Do they buy back? They're TPing in the Nature's Prophet for Injulai. Onto the high ground. The bash on XTD. There's no blink in. He's a bit too late for this. The Aegis goes the way of the Drow Ranger. Cheese, not sure who picked that one up, but he'll lose the Aegis immediately. Right up a kill, and now the deck is MMY will steal it away from him. Now gets stomped and... Oh, chaos of the pit, really. No other way to put it. The lift of XTD, though, and with the nuke damage that comes out from MMY, he's finally stolen some decent spells. We'll get the kill going the other way, to go along with the Ravage that he stole earlier, I should add. Injulai now heading to the south. It's a team wipe for LGD. They invested a lot in that one. They also bought back and died again on the Rubik, which I didn't get to mention. But the creeps are marching in. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet gets that kill on the Earthshaker. And then we'll end up going down as a result. And now we'll have a pause. Holy shit, what just happened in that Roche fight?
I don't even know.
I didn't even see what happened to the cheese. Was it denied? Did someone use it?
It was picked up and used by the Nature's Prophet. So in July, I was able to go a little bit longer with that one. But yeah, no, that was absolutely insane. That invasion was actually really good from LAI Gaming. If the game wasn't as it is right now, racks-wise, then they would just be in a dominant position as a result of that engagement. But they have lost so much already that it's only just keeping them in the game, really. They do get a couple gems out of it, or at least one, and leave one to the squirrels, but the courier will go pick that up very shortly. Either way, they're in defensive mode, they're in keep our base alive mode. The racks on the bottom lane are fine, but their tier 4s are already getting chipped into, and they don't have a way of bringing that back up.
Yeah, courier will find that one gem that was dropped in the previous engagement, so gem now on the side of LAI Gaming, and I mean, the biggest worry for them is just going to be gold. Like, that's literally the problem right now, is as good as that fight was for them, they are still suffering in net worth. Your Tinker, working towards the Z-Blade, he's got the dig on 5, he's the leader in net worth. The Drow Ranger has gone for Mascomatis, cost-efficient damage, but also puts XDD in instant death mode if the BKB is ever not available. It's 9 seconds for now, but we'll see if like a Rubik lift into an Ice Path or something can bring him down low enough before he pops it.
Yeah, the big deal is getting the split off, and I think they have the better opportunity to do it in this next coming fight. The Ravage will come through, but if Brew positions himself all right, he should still be able to cast
Blake, Ravage on 3. It's an ambush from LAI Gaming. They follow this one up in the fissure, then an Echo Slam. Yao never gets to split. They lost 3 right away. LAI Gaming potentially on the comeback of their lives here, but Injuly's already ratting it up. He summoned some trance in the base. He knows what to do to limit the bleeding, at least for now. And they do not get the Razor, who now completes his refresher. Still, LGD, I think they underestimated LAI Gaming a bit here, Blaze.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've made some great plays early on. Both sides really have. But LGD, their time was the first 30 minutes of this game. They did the damage that gives them this huge advantage coming into the second half. But LAI Gaming, they're really ramping it up. And honestly, the way they've been playing these fights, you can't count them out. As soon as a Brew split comes out, then maybe we're telling a different story. But at least for now, LAI Gaming are still very well in this, and they are pushing in as best they can. They have the Tinker to defend constantly. If you have to have a single hero to turtle up against 2 lanes of Rack's disadvantage, I would say the Tinker is definitely among them. And yeah, we'll see them just pound in this tower with the aura, with the physical damage.
Prophet was thinking about a little Rat Dota, though. He was TPing in towards that Radiant base, but July thinks better of it. And I'm really just wondering when LGD are going to say, let's 5-man bottom lane. Let's just all 5 go bottom, pushing the mid and top lanes on our way there with the Prophet, and just go for a suicide onto the base kind of play. Checking their buybacks right now, they have one on the Nature's Prophet. They're 1,000 gold off on a buyback on the other heroes, but they may not even wait for that. It seems they're a bit impatient, perhaps, and they're just going to try to end it now. It's folked up and heading down mid.
It's risky, though. Without the BKB and the Brewmaster, there's no way to guarantee the split. He has to make sure that he just casts it pretty much immediately, and there's hopefully no immediate gust coming out from the Drow. But yeah, this bottom racks is what they want. It's what they're going to try to claim. But I've seen a lot of teams just go for a brute force on single structures, and they just get absolutely demolished as a result. We'll see how it plays out for them as the smoke does break.
Yeah, Tinker no E-Blade. That would really help the defense here for LAI Gaming, and a Ravage also 20 seconds off cooldown, Blaze.
He also needs a BKB against the damn Blade Mail. Like, that's frustrating him so much against being able to focus down the Nature's Prophet.
Oh, Courier, meanwhile, gets picked off. Oh, Familiar sniped it. Wasn't carrying anything on it, though, looks like. Just wards. Just wards. It said the net worth was 0, I thought, on the pop-up.
Well, their wards are consumable, so I guess that doesn't count.
Oh, then, okay. That's kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
They still cost gold, I mean.
Yeah, but net
they're
worth
not permanent net worth, but
it's like TP scrolls and salves don't apply to net worth on the charts, so I guess they use the same algorithm for courier value.
That's true. It seems a little inconsistent to me, but I guess they're consistent within their own system, so that's all that counts. LAI Gaming are on the smoke again. They know they have to keep taking these fights outside their base. They can't let LGD get to the base with the double Razor ultimate.
Yow.
And they're BOTing in now. Ravage the fly once again on Yao, but MMY blinked out. Did he manage to steal it in time? Oh, he got Gush. Tide was too quick with that follow-up nuke. Still, it's only one hero down for the Ravage. Brew's up in a minute. Ravage cooling down for 2.5. And I don't know if that's good enough, Blaze. I think LGD might have actually, despite losing the Brew, found their opening now. They've got they've got 80 seconds when this Brew respawns to get to the base and force the high ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be what they need to do.
As weird as it is, I almost think this could be good for them, but we'll see if they're able to force it.
Yeah, it really depends on how 5400 plays with this next Echo Slam. If you can find a good one, then they can still push them back once again and create even more time, create even more space. The E-Blade will come out for the Tinker, but as you mentioned, Brew coming up at a pretty good time considering the Ravage disabled. Dire Creeps will just barely not scout out XDD on the tail end of that, and they are going to get this flank off successfully.
They are just... The one thing I'm really impressed by with LAI Gaming is they know the state of the game. Like, so many teams would just say, oh, we just have to turtle. But they know if the Razor gets to the base, it's pretty much all over. Like, they're going to lose Rex unless they wipe and then go all in mid. Oh, Sylar walks right into them, though. Oh, he's got the double ultimate, but does he look to pop it? Now he gets Echo Slam. Focused by the Familiars. They need backup for Sylar, and he's going to go down. He didn't even blow his Refresher. And now they're all forced to retreat. What a big pick. What a huge pick. And this gives Ravage time to cool down. So LAI Gaming get another shot to hold this base. Tinker E-Blade out. As you mentioned, XDD now. We're closing in on his next damage item. They might not be out of this yet. The comeback, Blaze. The comeback could be real. Down 20k gold. Now down to 10k. And climbing rapidly.
Still, LGD, they just need one damn split from this Brewmaster. They've got the Hex on in July now. They have so many ways to start a fight on the right foot by comparison to what we've seen so far, but it's just been awkward. Actually, XDD might have sang the Nature's Prophet's Trance. He's like, thanks, I didn't have a chance to use that earlier. So, yeah, in this case, like, both sides, they know the risks of going into each and every next fight. Like, obviously, if there is the Primal Split, if there is the Hex coming out from LGD, then LAI, they just get demolished. But they're getting stronger every single time they take a win, and although their tier 4 is getting lower and lower, their items are getting pretty huge. I mean, at some point, like, the amount of damage that is going to be able to be put out by Drow and Tinker alike in the duration of that...
Ravage and Drow.
Ravage, there we go. Yeah, in the duration of all the stuns, really. They've got a lot from the Earthshaker, a lot from the Tide, and in that, with their DPS increasing, LGD have to be sweating it a little bit.
This is not over, as crazy as that sounds. LGD, when they had that gambit where Prophet teleport backstepped into the top lane, like, that was like, okay, 2 lanes of Rax, it's like 25 minutes. Tinker has Dagon 2, Blink Dagger, no Ghost Scepter, no Ethereal Blade. Alright, they got this now, Blaze. But then, somehow, LAI Gaming have managed to find like 5 good fights in a row, it feels like. Even though it's single hero pickoffs, aside from the 1 3-hero white bottom, they're now right back in it. Visage nearly has a complete Assault Cuirass. Actually, yeah, just a little bit short. Could buy the Hyperstone now, still needs to farm the recipe, and may want to save for buyback. We'll see, but Jakira's going to get caught out again. Faith trapped down and picked off. Like, LGD just keep on running off on their own. I'm actually starting to question, why are they not just 5-manning, and like, until all 5 heroes are alive, just let Prophet split push and everyone else just sit at the base, but they continue to get picked off, and I guess at this point they want that next Aegis. Though we saw how the last Roche fight went, and LAI Gaming have only gotten stronger since then.
Yeah, exactly. The BKB is going to help a lot on the Razor. It's going to be 19-second duration with the Refresher Orb, so he's going to be able to do a lot of work with that against a majority of LAI Gaming, but even still, like, that alone doesn't guarantee them the fight. There's still so many factors going into this, and although the patience will pay off with that pretty huge item pickup, MOI, is he going to get caught? Yeah,
oh, he is! Both teams of the Hell War just sniped out. That's unfortunate.
That Blink Dagger for him was cooling down in slow motion.
Dude, LAI Gaming need to play from behind more often, because they are seriously entertaining me right now. Yesterday we saw them play from ahead with the Drow Visage, and just the nature of that lineup with the Lycan is kind of boring to watch, but this is incredibly entertaining. And they may... Oh, Nature's Prophet's already TP'd out. They went for a rotation up into the jungle here. They've left the Tinker to defend at the base for now, while the rest of LGD go into the pit. Oh, they might backstep Silo, though. Blink in. One Echo Slam to start. Can he BKB? Ravage to follow this up. He's got to BKB. It's too late. No! It's too late. He has no buyback. He's 1,400 gold short. Oh, Sylar, not there when your team needs you. And now the fight's in shambles. 3 heroes dead. Prophet even, well, he's the one survivor. He's heading towards this radiant base. But Blaze, he doesn't have the items to rat this. I think it's throne time for LAI Gaming. Drow Ranger still has precision. Are they going to kill off Yao here? Whoever's got buyback, just pop it now. It's only Nature's Prophet. It's only Nature's Prophet. They have the Rubik alive, but I mean, really, what is Rubik going to do against the familiars, which can be resummoned, against Precision Art for the Drow Ranger if she wants to activate it? Right now, is on top of him, so doesn't need to. This could be the most colossal throw I've ever seen. LGD Gaming getting outplayed severely. They'll lose their first tier 3 here. Can they hold the line at all? Blinking is in July. He goes right onto XDD. Did not pop. Oh, doesn't have BKB to pop. Now he's going to get stunned. Ends up getting the kill though on the Drow Ranger. That's huge. Does she have buyback the other direction? Buyback is up on Drow. Not using it. Nature's Prophet will buyback as well, but Tinker's going ham. XZ with the double kill. They need this Drow Ranger R in the fight. She'll just BOT in. If she dies again, this could go the other way. But by golly, Blaze, fight Gee Willikers. I think they've done it. They're going to go straight for the throne. Straight for the jugular. LAI Gaming, Razor respawning soon. They're trying to force this one. They're not backing down, though. They'll take tier 4 #1. They haven't gone for a second late of Rax. It might be too late, though. It might be too late. They gotta run now. They've just gotten a refresher on Tide. First ult up in 60. 5,400 caught out. He'll end up going down. He does a buyback, so he's okay if he dies. Meanwhile on the base, the Nature's Prophet in July trying to rat this one out, and did manage to kill off the tier 4 towers. As Super is still being pursued, he does not... Oh, he does a buyback, and the assault car is complete. Alright, so they're just buying time here. They're buying time for the rest of the team. And they'll lose 5,400 as well. But Nature's Prophet did not manage to take the third lane of Rex, did not manage to break the throne open, and now everybody buys back. There's one buyback on cooldown. That's the stinking Rubik, who's about to respawn. One more good fight for LAI Gaming. Actually, for either team. One good fight, and this is probably game. No buybacks for anyone, really.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah's still sitting on 9-second BKB, which he can use twice. This is... It's just so ridiculous.
For those just joining us, I know a lot of you guys were watching the Signet Cup Grand Finals, which sounds like it was a great series, but yeah, this is where we stood about 15-20 minutes ago. It was a 20k gold lead for LGD. They had taken the mid-racks, the melee, they had taken a full lane of Rex top, and then LAI Gaming have won like 8 fights in a row to pull themselves back to the brink of the ultimate comeback, which might be right now! Ravage 1! Ravage 2! Everybody melts! It's a stolen Ravage, though maybe that's enough. I don't think so. Sylar just gets eviscerated, and Sylar will buy back. He's got the gold for it now after that Roche kill. Can he get into this fight, though? The Drow Ranger standing strong to the north of the fight. Taker duking it out within July. BKB right-clicks the Nature's Prophet down. Are you kidding me? He lives. Creep swarming towards the throne now exposed, and now Sylar comes in again, onto XDD, he's stealing his damage, this boulder toss keeps him close, but he doesn't have too much follow-up to this, only 140 stolen, can't really get in range to finish him off, he'll blink into the trees, the Drow Ranger's gonna survive, and what looked to be a formulaic win for LGD is quickly going off the rails here, still the melee and rage stand bottom lane. And still they hang on. They cleared out the Aegis. They cleared out the cheese. The buybacks are starting to stack up here for both teams. 1 on the Taker, 3 on the Dire. I guess we reset now, Blaze. We reset and we wait for a bigger fight to come.
I really don't know who that favors at this point. XDD, he sold his Midas a while back just to get these really cost-effective items. The BKB, the crit, the right-click damage. But, oh my gosh, these fights are just so insane. Like, the Ravages coming out. Before, it was one objective for LAI Gaming. Kill off so-and-so. The Brewmaster was the key target before because he had just picked up the Aghanim's and Vladimir's. But now it's the Razor. Sylar has not gotten his full double BKB off in the fights that he wants to. That Refresh Orb is so much of a threat. They put so much into him. And they get it for the most part. Like, this has been...
It's been
absolutely insane.
And, you know, the thing is, like, oftentimes you'll hear... players, casters, everyone talk about BKB as the counter to Tide, and it really is if you get off your BKB, but when he blinks on top of you, that Ravage has basically no travel time. You have to react within like a quarter of a second or you're stunned. Not to mention the Earthshaker with the Blink Echo Slam, which has no animation really. So you blink in, you Echo Slam, and they're instantly stunned. You follow up with any sort of other stun, the Fissure, the Enchant Totem, and they'll be chain stunned. And that's if the Ravage isn't coming out. Like, that first initial stun is really all it takes, and it actually goes back to your initial question a bit, I suppose, about Force Staffs. Like, wouldn't it be nice if they had a few Force Staffs, so when they jump on this Razor, they could double Force Staff him away from the vortex of all of the AoE stuns. Maybe he can get off his BKB then, but They just haven't had it. And I don't know. It's getting to that point now. Taker is getting close to a Hex.
But they're actually close to the base this time. The creep wave is pushing in on bottom lane. They want to find... They get the ward up in the base. They want to pick something off. There's a gem on the Tide, and I think they have one on the ground on the Courier or something like that as well.
They're smoked! They found Sylar! Remember, he blew his...
Are you kidding me?
He's dead within seconds! But they're in the base now, and LGD are going to at least try to force the rotation back. The question is, can LAI Gaming do anything during this 100 seconds they have? Can they just go and win the game now? The twin-headed dragon tries to blink out into the trees. Faith will make his way out. Oh, Rocket couldn't find him. He'll escape. He just bought his team like 20 seconds with that one.
Yeah, that TP is actually huge. Like, that's one right-click between life and death, and although he does have a buyback, 2 lives on a Jakiro is pretty huge for what LAI Gaming's about to go for. They need to go for the throne here. This is probably the best opportunity they can possibly get, killing off Sylar without the buyback.
But
right now,
I don't know if the creep equilibrium favors them. MMY's ratting it. MMY's ratting it. He's into the bottom lane. He fade bolts the creep wave. He gets fissured though. Might get trapped to Echo Slam there. Right as Yacht jumps in, the stolen Ravage from the last fight finally used, and they'll dunk the Earthshaker. He tried to pop his ultimate, but doesn't amount to much. And now they'll lose their range racks. This could be the Megas. Who needs Sylar? Who needs your 19 seconds of BKB and your double ultimate, say LGD? We'll do this the hard way or die trying. Well, it might be die trying at the right they're going. They zap down the Wind Panda. This will allow the Earth Panda to retreat out. They're not focusing. And now in July, he's throwing his body abilities. He has no buyback for 4 seconds, but he will have it basically when he needs to. And they finally crack the space open. LGD've got the Megas, but in July's still trapped in the trees. The Familiars are doing work, and they'll zap him. Even if they go on to lose this game, as Krace begin to hit the throne, you gotta defend your throne here, LAI Gaming. Oh, they'll do it. They'll do it.
Tinker's now on creep duty 100%. He cannot join his team for the final throne rush, and Sylar's back up in full.
He can only maybe
done it. It took so damn long.
He can only maybe BOTN for like
35 minutes. No, LAI Gaming pull out some amazing stops. They impressed me time and time again, and their decision making in this late game status, although it wasn't enough to keep them from losing all their racks, when it's all said and done, they have just played so damn good.
Don't count them out just yet. They have the Drow with a Mask of Madness, a Crystallis. I still believe, Blaze. I have a sliver of hope here for LAI Gaming. If LGD screw up this next team fight, no more Stolen Ravage this time around for them.
And 20 seconds on Tide's Refresher, too. That's the timing.
That's when you want to go in, and they're going for it now. Might just be straight under the throne. The pinks come out. If there was any question about objectives here, there are none for LAI Gaming. XTT blinks in. The Ravage was dodged by MMY, and Yao came too far forward. They still managed to kill him off, and now they go in straight for the throne. Yao will buy back, though. This is buying time. They glyph, but right after the tier 4 died. Unfortunate. Now the split coming in from the throne. He tries to hold the line. Meanwhile, Radiant Throw dropping quickly. Sylar in through the front. He's got his ultimate online. Glyph is there. It's not enough. Oh, GD salvaged this one, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. After almost giving the game, after almost having an easy win to begin with, they made it hard. But that BOT play at the end, they just couldn't stop Sylar once he got on the buildings. That was the solution. Why didn't they do it sooner?
Don't
just get Sylar to a building with your refresher eggs.
Time and time again. If it wasn't Yao, it was Sylar, but... Oh, shit. Although I will say it's a bit of a thrill for LGD to even give them the openings. LAI Gaming, they certainly punished any mistake they could take, and they stayed in this game for far longer than they should have. Honestly, although it says LGD Gaming victory, LAI Gaming have a small victory in my heart, at least. This
they won the hearts and minds of the people here, and this actually makes things very interesting for our playoff race. Now LAI Gaming are 4-3. Vici Gaming could end up 4-3 if they lose their next 2 games. If they win one, then they'll be guaranteed top 3. If IG win their next game, there's a chance that there's a one-way tie between LAI Gaming and IG, which is decided by head-to-head matchup. Do you happen to know who won that game, Blaze? Offhand?
Sorry, I do not.
Okay, well, we're gonna find out soon. We'll let you guys know. It might just be that IG don't control their own fate anyway. I actually think LAI Gaming beat them, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It could be a 3-way tie, and then things might get interesting if Vici Gaming lose 2 in a row today. So with that said, guys, Starladder China just getting underway. We've got 3 more best of ones coming your way. The next match will be Vici Gaming versus LGD.cdec. Following that, IG versus Newbie, and we wrap up the day with Vici Gaming versus Tong Fu. So lots of big games on our final day of group stage play for Starladder China. Try to stay cool, have yourselves a drink. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond the Summit.